Once upon a time there was a kingdom called Florin. Florin was ruled by a kind and wise king named Wilhelm and his daughter Princess Sophie. Princess Sophie had long golden hair that shimmered in the sunlight and eyes as blue as the sky. She was known throughout the kingdom for being brave and adventurous. One sunny morning, Princess Sophie was exploring the royal gardens looking for butterflies. She loved being outside and surrounded by the colorful flowers and trees. As Sophie wandered through the gardens, she heard a strange noise coming from the forest just beyond the castle walls. It sounded like a cry for help. Without hesitation, the brave princess ran towards the forest to find the source of the cries. Pushing through the thick trees and bushes, Sophie discovered a magnificent unicorn, its leg stuck in a hunter's trap. The unicorn had a shimmering white coat, a rainbow-colored mane, and a long silver horn coming out of its head. Sophie gasped at the incredible sight. Being very gentle, she worked to free the poor creature's leg from the trap. Once released, the unicorn stood up and shook out its mane. Sophie noticed a tag hung around its neck. "Your name is Stardust," she said. Stardust nodded happily. He tried to walk but stumbled on his injured leg. Sophie knew Stardust needed help. "Don't worry, I'll take care of you," she told the unicorn. Using her magical golden hair, Sophie created a makeshift bandage for Stardust's leg. Then, slowly and carefully, she guided the limping unicorn through the forest towards the castle. Sophie knew her father the king would help Stardust get well again. When Sophie arrived back at the castle with the injured unicorn, the staff were shocked to see the rare creature. Sophie explained how she rescued Stardust and asked the royal doctors to help heal him. For days, Stardust rested comfortably in the royal stables as his leg healed. Sophie came to visit him every day, bringing him flowers and apples. One morning, Sophie arrived to find Stardust's leg completely healed. The doctors said it was a miracle recovery. To show his gratitude, Stardust knelt down to let Sophie climb onto his back. With a running start, the majestic unicorn took flight, soaring through the clouds with the princess holding on tight to his mane. Sophie and Stardust flew all over Florin, waving to the villagers below. Everyone was amazed to see a real magical unicorn. The wise king declared that brave Sophie could keep Stardust as her royal steed. From that day on, Sophie and Stardust had many more adventures together throughout the kingdom. Knowing it was his destiny to stay with Sophie, Stardust lived happily in the royal stables. Each morning, the princess and unicorn would ride out into the countryside looking for people who needed help. Stardust's horn had magical healing powers, so they often healed sick villagers. Sophie loved using her bravery and Stardust's magic to help others. One day, while out on a ride, Sophie and Stardust heard cries coming from a nearby village. They arrived to find a group of children crying that their puppy was stuck at the bottom of a deep well. The children said the well was too dark and deep to reach the trapped puppy. Brave Sophie knew she and Stardust had to save the puppy. Princess Sophie came up with a clever idea. She asked Stardust to lower her into the well using his magic horn. Carefully and slowly, the unicorn lifted Sophie into the darkness of the well. Soon she reached the shivering little puppy and tucked him safely into her arms. Stardust's magic horn pulled them back up to safety. The children cried happy tears when Sophie emerged from the well with their puppy. They thanked the princess and unicorn for saving their beloved pet. Sophie told them, "When you need help, Stardust and I will always be there." News of their brave rescue spread across Florin. The king declared a special holiday called Bravery Day to celebrate his daughter's courageous heart. Every year on Bravery Day, the entire kingdom would gather for a magical festival. Princess Sophie would ride Stardust across the night sky as fireworks burst into light around them. They thrilled the crowds with daring tricks, like looping through glowing rings of fire. The princess and her unicorn's bond of love and bravery inspired all who saw them. King Wilhelm knew that one day his daughter would make a wise and courageous queen. When that day came, Sophie planned to continue her adventures helping others with her best friend Stardust the magical unicorn by her side. So the princess, the unicorn, and the kingdom of Florin lived happily ever after.